The great Sadat X, the wild cowboy, the hip-hop legend of brand Nubian fame, is back outside with a new project entitled Science of Life. Now, I always thought that Sadat X had one of the more unique rapping voices in the game. His Wild Cowboys project from '96 was a very slept-on release from that incredible year in hip-hop. But his new project, Science of Life, with Doe Networks, contains 11 songs lasting approximately 34 minutes with features from Shakes, Jay Worthy, Royal Flush, Demo, The Mussolini, Planet Asia, Tiana Denise, Sauce Heist, D-Sean, Crime Apple, TF, Jay Nice, Acknowledge the Pirates, so it's got a good blend between old school and new school artists. The bulk of the beats were produced by Give 'Em Soul, but additional production came from Rock, Marciano, Khrysis, Kevin Chaos, and local astronauts. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. This opens with the track Halal, where Sadat X sets the tone over this mesmerizing jazz loop. He talks about it being a new day, the world opening back up since the pandemic. However, you better not try to give him pork on his fork, because the God is strictly halal. He also reminds heads that the sucker shit will bring you sucker shit. As a whole, it's a solid opener where Sadat X comes across as a real elder statesman in hip hop. Track 2, no doubt, has a funky boom bap beat produced by Give 'Em Soul. Sadat X talks more about the pandemic and how he spent much of his time writing a bunch of rhymes and even working in a hospital. I like the positive energy that he was bringing here as he talked about elevating and having to adapt to the ever-changing world. And of course, I dug his OG-like wisdom on you can't scream gang if nobody brought you home. So it's just some food for thought for the young kids out there on that type of time screaming gang, gang. Track 3 is the single Dudes to Gods, where Give 'Em Soul interpolates the same sample used on Cormega's American Beauty. It's a well-known hip-hop bass line that you can't go wrong with. And on this one, Sadat X is building, addressing problems in the hood, in the community, and with our youth. And he talks about how boundaries and codes no longer seem to exist. He gets right to the heart of the matter with the following question that he poses to these young shooters. What will make a dude desecrate a man's grave? See, that's the type of dude that you can't save. Explain to me your thought process. What part of you thought that it would bring success? You know, it's real, thoughtful, mature OG talk that the seeds need to hear before they go out on crash dummy missions. He does admit, though, that going from a dude to a god requires a transformation, a mind cleanse, and I might lose some so-called friends. That's the price. Track 4, Everybody Has a Story, has a dusty, lo-fi, and quirky jazz beat from Khrysis, and it features verses from Compton's Jay Worthy and the Queen's legend Royal Flush, the Ghetto Millionaire, who I haven't heard material from in a while. Sadat X and company basically expose the hypocrisy and call out the bullshit in the game. Sadat X has some motivational lines too, like when he said, "Don't miss the money train being a passenger. I'm in the cockpit. If I can't fly the plane, I'll read the manual." Things continue on this smoother tip with the following song, Player Shit, featuring Demo and The Mussolini. Here, Give 'Em Soul flips the classic Eddie Kendrick sample, Intimate Friends, another great sample that you can't miss on. So here, the OG is operating on a vibe with the younger artists, Demo and The Mussolini, but it's still unmistakably New York. After this is Tell 'Em, which has a rugged reggae sample and dusty drums. This one finds Sadat X in storytelling mode, reminding folks not to bring anyone to his crib and that he stays ready. This one was cool, although it felt more like an interlude than a complete track. The subsequent song is Babies with Planet Asia. These two OGs reflect on the importance of fatherhood and how their love for their children is bulletproof. And it's set to an up-tempo and horn-back beat with those blaxploitation vibes. Then we get a beat shift accompanied by some sung vocals from Tiana Denise, who is known for her work with Griselda. Afterwards is Harlem with Unk featuring Sauce Heist. Here we get plush boom bap production with soothing R&B vocals and dreamy bells. It is smooth riding music, but with a slight DITC flair. Sadat X talks about young dudes going live and 5 minutes later they won't be alive. He also speaks on how this kind of sloppy behavior makes police work even easier. Dudes just doing crimes with no plan, just acting off impulse. Track 9 is everything I'm supposed to get with Crime Apple and TF. And this one finds Sadat X trying his hand at a drumless Rock Marcy beat. I liked how he was also bridging the gap, working with younger artists like Crime Apple and TF, and getting busy on a beat that's outside his comfort zone. Track 10, Burning Sands, also contains a Rock Marcy beat, but it's more suspenseful and grittier, albeit still drumless. This features verses from Knowledge the Pirate and Jay Nice, but the beat does sound tailor-made for her, both Rock Marcy and Knowledge the Pirate. I would say that Sadat X and Jay Nice had the dopest verses, but again, it was cool to get Sadat X and Rock Marcy collabing. I wouldn't mind a full project or even an EP from them, to keep it a buck. Then the album wraps up with Inferno, which has a 5%er spoken word from Joanne Ratchford and harmonizing from Jaleesa over a sparkling jazz beat. So overall, I give this project a rating of a strong 3.5 mics. The great Sadat X definitely has some things to say and some game to give out on this record. He hasn't lost a step in terms of flow, delivery, or vocally. Like, his voice literally sounds as crisp as it did in 9-6. The production was simple yet effective. I didn't dislike any beats, although some were stronger than others. I would say though that I wished a couple of songs were longer and more developed, but overall it was a solid project. And I appreciated how he made it a point to work with newer artists and even try out slightly newer production styles while still keeping it traditional New York. My favorite tracks include No Doubt, Dues to Gods, Everybody Has a Story, Player Shit, Everything I'm Supposed to Get, and Burning Sand. Let me know what you thought about this album in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Muff. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Sadat X, Science of Life 1.